You taken a live wire, but the live wire slapped him in the face and electrocuted him.
So Parker's on the ropes, tucking up, little uppercut slip through, right hand misses. There's another 2-3 shots there. They've come together, they're a bit scrappy. Right hand lands there. Fabio's absolutely exhausted. Parker's still tucking up, 2 shots.
Yeah, he walked in there, was game on. By the time he got hit by 3 shots, that was it. Yeah. Yeah.
So do you think the fight was absolutely horrendous? He's sitting at #1 spot. He could have picked an easier night than Fabio Wardley.
Boxing experts are tearing into Joseph Parker following his crushing loss to Fabio Wardley, a defeat that has sent shockwaves through the heavyweight scene. What was billed as a tactical chess match turned into a demolition, and the post-fight commentary has been ruthless. Duke McKenzie led the verbal onslaught, calling Parker the architect of his own death.
Particular fight. I think that Joseph Parker threw it away. You know, they talk about tactics and game plans and one thing and another these days. Excuse me. You know, when I was boxing, obviously things were different, and you know, you kind of
downfall. McKenzie didn't mince words. Parker talked game plans like a professor, but fought like an amateur, he said sharply. He froze under pressure. Fabio didn't outthink him. He outfought him. Parker didn't lose by chance. He lost by cowardice.
Too early. He was tired. He may have just robbed Fabio Wardley there of a great stoppage, which is what I was saying with me and Groves. It stopped a bit too early. If the fight was going to carry on, I would have got the conclusive finish. Fabio Wardley may have just got the finish.
For McKenzie, the loss wasn't about a bad night. It was the unveiling of a fighter who's lost his edge. Carl Froch didn't soften his verdict either. "Let's be real," Froch said. The referee saved Parker from pure humiliation.
Seeing you get caught some big shots, and you know there was a good few punches. I wasn't counting, but it looked like a lot. Obviously, I'm concerned for Joe because he's a friend, and close friend, and you don't want to see anybody get hurt. But it was what it was.
Fabio had him hanging by a thread, seconds away from a brutal finish. Parker didn't just lose, he escaped disaster. That stoppage wasn't mercy for the fans. It was mercy for Parker's pride. Even Tyson Fury, one of Parker's closest friends, couldn't defend what happened. He tried, yes, but the truth was undeniable.
Parker, for me, the only thing that disappointed me about Parker was he threw it away. Because tactically, got his tactics all wrong. I know in heavyweight boxing, all heavyweights hit hard, but Fabio Wardley's on a great run of knockouts, right? Just knocking everyone out. Anybody put in front of me blows them out.
Parker was battered from start to finish, Fury admitted. Fabio didn't just catch him, he crushed him. Despite his sympathy, Fury's tone revealed a deeper realization, that Parker may have reached the end of his run. Friendship aside, he added, those punches were a
Joe got on top of him at times, doubling the left hook up, hitting him with the right hand, had him all over, he's reeling all over Fabio Wardley, but he bit down his gum shield. He thought, right, fuck you, I've got the power to straighten this right out, and that's what he did.
Beating. Duke McKenzie returned later with an even harsher take. Parker wasn't beaten by luck, he insisted. He was beaten by ignorance. You don't walk into a ring with a knockout artist like Fabio Wardley and show zero urgency.
Wardley's my guy. I've had more fucking rounds with Wardley than anybody else in boxing. Do you understand? I've sparred Wardley so many times. I even called it. I'm like, Wardley's gonna win this fight, and nobody believed me. I called it.
You believed in you?
I called it. Yeah, I say Wardley wins it.
That's not bravery. That's stupidity. McKenzie hammered his point home. Parker didn't just lose a fight. He exposed himself as yesterday's man. John Fury gave credit where it was due, praising Fabio's relentless will to win. Fabio Wardley's heart made the difference, John said proudly. Even when Parker tried to rally, Fabio never cracked.
I don't want a big on my face. I've got to get a job done here. So after the things he said the last time, he knows he probably mugged himself off. I think that probably hurt him more than anything, hurt his pride.
Parker folded under fatigue, but Fabio fed on the chaos. That's what separates fighters from warriors. Fury called Wardley a true fighting man, someone who embodies the grit and drive that define heavyweight champions. Derek Chisora echoed that sentiment. He had predicted Fabio's victory long before fight night. I told everyone, Parker's experience means nothing when you face a man like Fabio, Chisora said. I've trained with the guy. I've felt that pressure firsthand. It wasn't an upset. It was prophecy fulfilled. Johnny Nelson, however, took aim at Parker's pride. This loss shattered Parker's confidence, he said bluntly.
Hey, listen, he got caught the head on the temple, and then after that, it was a long night for him. I'm a bit sad, because I didn't want him to go out like that.
Is that because of the fights you've had with him?
No, it's because that he's never boxed a southpaw. You know, that's the first southpaw he's boxed in how long? It's maybe his whole career.
It wasn't tactical. It was emotional collapse. Parker walked in talking about redemption and left humiliated. Fabio didn't just take his belt, he took his confidence. Nelson painted the defeat as psychological devastation. That loss hurt his ego more than his body, he added. Chisora, though sympathetic, didn't hide from reality. That temple shot didn't just wobble him. It shattered his entire game plan, he admitted. Real fighters adapt, adjust, and find a way to fight back. Parker didn't. He was out of his depth. Even Chisora's pity spoke volumes. Parker's...
What a crazy fight, you know. I see Parker was 7 rounds, maybe. I think Parker win, you know. But, you know, this is a heavyweight boxing, you know, one punch can change a fight, you know, and you see the result, you know. I don't know why Parker, after 7 rounds, he go back. I think he had too much muscle, you know, too much weight. A little bit, I think not so much.
Unraveling wasn't about luck or stance. It was about being beaten by a hungrier man. The excuses about southpaw stances and angles? Experts aren't buying them. Fabio's precision, composure, and timing made Parker look like a fighter stuck in slow motion. Fabio didn't need gimmicks. He just needed opportunity. He found the target, landed clean, and turned Parker's proud career into a highlight reel for all the wrong reasons. This wasn't just defeat. It was domination dressed as despair. Agit Kabayel tried to be polite, but his comments only fueled the criticism. He mentioned Parker's added muscle and heavier frame, calling it too much weight.
Guys had their moments in there. It was ebb and flow, and you know what it is, I was like, Fabio hit him with some good shots. Fabio needs to do a bit more. But Fabio's always, he's like the Deontay Wilder of the UK, man. He always had that equal there down the stretch. I mean, I think Parker blew his tank in that round before, where he literally let it out, and then kind of that was his, it wasn't what.
But analysts called that deflection. He didn't go back because of weight, one expert noted. He went back because of shock. Fabio's punch didn't just drain his body. It drained his soul. 7 rounds of strategy meant nothing when the final act ended in collapse. Fabio's patience paid off. Parker looked strong walking in, but as one pundit said, strength without courage is just weight. When Fabio's right hand connected, that strength only made the fall heavier. Dean White summed up the fight in cold, honest terms. Parker's goose was cooked long before the final bell, he said. He emptied his tank, tried one desperate burst, and Fabio punished him for it. White even compared Fabio to Deontay Wilder. That kind of equalized.
It was an all-time heavyweight great fight. Fabulous fight. We always knew it was going to be. And it's what we said from the start. It only takes 1 second with him, and he turns a fight around.
That destructive power separates men who box from men who conquer, he explained. To Dean, Parker fought like a man running out of belief, his punches losing sting with every exchange. Fabio, on the other hand, waited like a predator, patient, ruthless, calculating. When he struck, it was with the cold precision of a man who knew exactly how the story would end. Fabio didn't just finish him, White said. He finished the argument. Promoter Frank Warren called the bout an instant classic, but he made one point clear. That 1 second belonged entirely to Fabio Wardley. Warren's admiration was mixed with truth. Fabio proved he doesn't need 12 rounds to make a statement. One window.
An unbelievable fight, really. Ended up being a great fight. It wasn't one I was overly excited for, really. Amazing, really. Amazing. So I thought Parker would win. I didn't really have any doubts Parker would win.
One punch, and the entire narrative flipped, he said. Parker came in with pride, plans, and promises. But Fabio came in with purpose. That, Warren emphasized, is the difference between fighters who talk about greatness and those who seize it. This was a defining moment for British boxing, he declared. The night a star was born and an old name faded away. Now, as whispers of a rematch circulate, Warren remains doubtful. Parker can call for rematches all he wants, he said. But legends don't repeat. They arrive once and remind everyone who owns the division. Dave Allen admitted the result stunned him. I didn't think Fabio would pull it off.
He was up. He was winning most of the rounds. But, you know, Wardley's got that big equaliser and rattled him. And Joseph's my friend. It's hard to watch your friend getting punched.
Off, he confessed. Not the pundits, not the promoters, and certainly not Parker himself. For Allen, that shock made the victory even sweeter. Fabio didn't just win. He rewrote every expectation. He walked through the storm of predictions and proved that hunger beats hype every time. Allen reflected on how Fabio's drive contrasted with Parker's complacency. Parker thought experience would save him, he said. But Fabio flipped the script. Grit and hunger will always outshine comfort. His admiration summed up the story. Fabio turned doubters into believers and left the so-called experts scrambling for explanations. In a sport built on moments, Allen said, Fabio created one that'll echo for years, the night he made the boxing world eat its words. David Higgins.
On points, bro, crazy.
How did you have it?
I had him up, bro, convincingly. Awesome fight. Awesome. Hey, science of the sport. This guy adapts. I knew it.
How did you know he was going to win? Why?
He's got too much ammunition. You know, southpaw, orthodox, on the back foot. That's what changes good from great is knowing how to adapt. You know, back foot.
Higgins, Parker's longtime associate, spoke with the tone of a man torn between loyalty and truth. Maybe Parker was edging some early rounds, he admitted, but in heavyweight boxing, rounds mean nothing when one shot changes everything. He acknowledged what everyone now sees. Fabio Wardley's power isn't just strength, it's inevitability. Higgins described the heartbreak of watching his fighter unravel. Fabio was always a threat waiting to detonate, he said quietly. One right hand shifted the fight, and from that moment, Joe was a passenger. Friendship couldn't mask the reality. Fabio rattled Parker both physically and mentally. He froze under fire, Higgins confessed. It was clear. Even Higgins knew he had witnessed a changing of the guard. Fabio didn't just beat a friend, he said. He retired a name. Jai Opataya offered the most technical breakdown. Adaptability, he said. That's what sets Fabio apart. The Australian cruiserweight champion praised Wardley's intelligence under fire. He reads opponents mid-fight and adjusts instantly, Opataya observed. That's what champions do. Fabio didn't just swing harder, he thought sharper. He changed tempo, mixed angles, dismantled Parker piece by piece, Opataya continued. Southpaw, orthodox, inside, outside. Fabio made every adjustment like a veteran. He called it greatness in real time. Parker was stuck in old patterns, predictable and stiff, Opataya concluded. Fabio broke patterns, broke rhythm, broke Parker. For Opataya, it wasn't luck. It was intelligence fueled by aggression. When a fighter adapts like that under pressure, he said. "You're watching a future world champion." The echoes of that night still ring across the heavyweight landscape. Fabio Wardley rose like a storm. Joseph Parker was left in disbelief. Now, talk of a rematch lingers. But what's really at stake? For Fabio, it's not about revenge or validation anymore. It's about dominance. He's proven he belongs among the elite, a heavyweight who doesn't just win, but ends eras. Parker, meanwhile, walks a fragile line between pride and reality. One more loss, and the retirement whispers will become headlines. The first fight revealed everything. One man thrived under pressure. The other crumbled beneath it. Fabio's hunger, timing, and composure defined him. Parker's hesitation defined his downfall. Now the question remains, can lightning strike twice, or does Parker have one last stand left in him? Either way, the next chapter will reshape the division. This isn't just another rivalry. It's a reckoning, a battle between a man on the rise and another fighting to hold on to what's left. Fabio Wardley's reign of power, or Joseph Parker's fight for survival? Who are you backing?